Richard Martinez is the father of Chris Martinez, who is one of the people that was shot and killed by Elliot Rodger in the recent mass shooting in California. And he went on CNN and made an impassioned plea to end the gun anarchy in the United States.
The politicians after Sandy Hook swore that they would do something.
We're all proud to be Americans. But what kind of a message does it send to the world when we have such a rudderless bunch of idiots in government? I can't tell you how angry I am. It's just awful. And no parent should have to go through this. No parent. To have a kid die because in this kind of a situation, what has changed? Have we learned nothing? These things are going to continue until somebody does something. So where the hell is the leadership? Where the hell is these people we elect to Congress that we spend so much money on? These people are getting rich sitting in Congress. And what do? They don't take care of our kids. My kid died because nobody responded to what occurred at Sandy Hook. Those parents lost little kids. It's bad enough that I lost my 20-year-old, but I had 20 years with my son. That's all I ever have. But those people lost their children at 6 and 7 years old. How do you think they feel? And who's talking to them now? Who's doing anything for them now? Who is standing up for those kids that died back then in an elementary school? Why wasn't something done? It's outrageous.
The reason why he's so upset and the reason why he's screaming is that he's angry at the insanity of the system. Let me run through this one more time. So Elliot Rodger had Asperger's syndrome. He was seeing 2 psychiatrists. He had 3 run-ins with the police in the past. He had videos for days online where he's talking about wanting to kill people. And he's talking about, let me give you the titles of the videos again. I want to see if, because they were shocking to even me, like just how much of a red flag they were. One title, Why Do Girls Hate Me So Much? Another one, Elliot Rodger, Lonely Vlog, Life is So Unfair. Rantings like, all those girls that I've desired so much, they would have all rejected me and looked down upon me as an inferior man if I ever made a sexual advance towards them, while they throw themselves at these obnoxious brutes. I'll take great pleasure in slaughtering all of you. You will finally see I am in truth the superior one, the true alpha male, and I've annihilated every single girl in the sorority house. I'll take to the streets of Isla Vista and slay every single person I see there. If I can't have you, girls, I will destroy you. This didn't all just happen right before the shooting happened. Yes, one of the videos was released as the last manifesto. But there were so many of them! There were all these videos he was posting on the site, PUAHate.com, stands for pickupartisthate.com, where he said, today I drove through the area near my college and saw some things that were extremely rage-inducing. I passed by this restaurant. I saw a black guy chilling with 4 hot white girls. He didn't even look good. Then later on in the day, I was shopping at Trader Joe's and saw an Indian guy with 2 above-average white girls. What rage-inducing sights did you see today? Don't you just hate seeing these things when you go out? It just makes me want to quit life. So many signs of like, I'm going to kill people, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to snap, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But because there was no legal obligation for the psychiatrists to have some sort of contact with the gun stores in the area, because he bought the guns legally and got 400 rounds? 400 rounds of ammunition he bought legally. He bought legally with all his mental health problems and run-ins with the police, bought legally, no problem. But because there's no coordination and cooperation between psychiatrists or psychologists and mental health people and gun stores, and there's no universal background check, stuff like this happens. Again, it's impossible to know whether or not a universal background check would ever stop any specific shooting. But what we do know is that statistically, it definitely would disincentivize some people from getting a gun, because to get it on the black market is much harder to get it than legally. You know, it's easier to go to the corner store if they sell guns and buy it than to have to know somebody who knows somebody who can get in touch with somebody who you can buy from underground. So yes, there are still going to be murders, there are still going to be some shootings, things if we do a universal background check, but it's not going to be 32,000 gun deaths every single year in the U.S. It's not going to be that. It's not a coincidence. See, that's the thing. It's not a coincidence that in the U.S. we have 32,000 gun deaths on average every year, and in France it's less than 100 on average. Britain less than 100 on average. Australia less than 100 on average. Japan had like 7 in the year 2006. Their high is like 23. Okay, it's not a coincidence. It's not just, and people always go, oh, there are cultural differences too. That doesn't account for the difference between 7 deaths and 32,000, okay? We're not just that much more inherently violent than Japanese people. That's not the way the world works, okay? It's not just like this broad sweeping, oh, I guess they're less violent than us. How fucking unscientific can you possibly be? No, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have so many guns in circulation. What is it, over 300 million guns in the country? I mean, look, it was a Harvard study that said more guns equals more gun violence. It's not me saying that, it's the study saying that. And it's not a surprise. Whenever there are more guns laying around, more people are going to get fucking shot. A lot of it has to do with accidents, a lot of it has to do with suicides. Just the availability of having it there's going to be more accidents. Now, again, I'm not saying you don't have the right to bear arms. I'm not saying that we should ban guns. That's impossible, and you're not allowed to do that. That's unconstitutional, and that policy doesn't make sense. But what I am saying is, since we do have guns, let's not have gun anarchy. Okay, let's have a federal universal background check where we can lay out strictly and rigidly in law that, hey, if you have mental health issues, you're done. If you have multiple felonies, you're done. If you have, I don't know, man, you name it. There's a list of things that should prevent somebody from getting a gun. But this guy violated all those things, and it was still willy-nilly, yeah, he got a gun and he killed people. Think about how many more Elliot Rodgers are out there that think the same as he do, that are on the edge mentally, that are going to fucking snap and kill people, and they could easily get guns too. How many fucking people? How many people? And I know a lot of the idiot gun anarchists are like, well, look, shooting happened in California. California has gun laws, so I guess gun laws are the problem. You idiot. Do you have any idea how easy it is to get guns from anywhere, even if you're in a state that has strong gun laws? The problem is that you can go to the state right next door and get whatever the fuck you want and then come back over. That's the problem. The problem is that we have this thing called the internet where you can buy the guns and it's no problem associated with it whatsoever. The problem is that we don't have a comprehensive universal background check. We should probably limit high-capacity magazines too, so that if somebody does snap, that limits the damage they could do by this thing called math, where 5 bullets in a magazine is less than 30, and you won't be able to kill as many people. Somebody might be able to tackle you when you're fucking reloading. I love when people disagree with that. If you disagree with that argument, you're disagreeing with math. You're saying, I don't believe in math. I think somebody that has a 5-bullet clip can kill just as many people as somebody with 30 bullets. Except it does take time. Even if it's a little amount of time, it does take time to reload it. Okay? So if you have to reload after 5 bullets as opposed to 30, that's going to make a fucking difference. And if it's one person, that matters. Especially if that one person, what if that one person was somebody you knew? What about that? I mean, again, I don't know how many times we can go over the same things here. But the reality is that in the United States of America, we have gun anarchy. And 91% of the American people agree with us. They're not gun anarchists. They want some moderate reforms. Universal background check, 91% support. Okay? And the reason why we haven't gotten it, this brings up a whole other issue, but corruption. That's the problem. The problem is the gun manufacturers pay the NRA pays the politicians, and then the politicians, say, okay, we basically got paid to not pass any gun reforms under any circumstances ever so that the gun manufacturers can make more money, so I guess our hands are tied. Well, yeah, your hands are tied, but you also just disagreed with 91% of the American people, and you sentenced a lot more people in the country to death. Whether or not you want to admit that, whether or not you feel responsibility for that, is irrelevant. It's irrelevant, because the numbers speak for themselves.